My husband neglected me for a lifetime because there was no blood on our wedding night. Before his death, he stubbornly refused to breathe his last breath. Zhao Mingyi, you are the filial daughter-in-law and virtuous wife in the eyes of the world, but to me, your impurity has always been a thorn in my heart. A woman like your half-sister, who has remained chaste for her husband for 30 years, is the ideal wife in my heart. The horse's hooves kicked up layers of apricot clouds, and pink-white petals fell into my jet-black hair. In a daze, I saw my half-sister's out-of-control horse charging toward the 18-year-old Li Yangju. Memories of the past flashed through my mind. Suppressing the sorrow in my heart, I chose to stand by and watch coldly. Li Yangju, in my past life, I was injured saving you, yet you didn't believe my explanation and thought I was unchaste. In this life, I will let you return to your original fate. Hello, everyone, welcome to my channel. Subscribe us to read wonderful stories every day. Now the story begins. The sound of hooves startled the shallow grass and scattered blossoms. Apricot flowers were shattered by the swift wind, fluttering down to cling to cloud-like hair and golden hairpins. I tightened the reins to halt the horse, opening my hand to let the pink petals fall like clouds into my pale palm. In a daze, I heard the calls of my half-sister from ahead. Sister, save me, my horse has bolted. I instinctively urged my horse to chase after her, but the scene of Li Yangju's death flashed through my mind. His faint gasps seemed to whisper in my ear once more, Madam, if there is a next life, please do not come between me and your half-sister again. Clutching the apricot petals in my hand, I watched coldly as the horse's hooves trampled over the young man's right hand, the very hand he used to write his political treatises. Li Yangju, in this life, I will fulfill your dying wish. Woo-woo. I'm sorry, young master, are you hurt anywhere? As the horseshoe crushed the young man's hand bone, his half-sister also fell from the horse. In order to catch her, Li Yangju's already severely injured right hand was completely broken. Li Yangju's face was deathly pale, his body convulsing in pain, yet he tried his best to comfort his half-sister. Don't be afraid, young lady, I'm fine, young master, even though you don't blame me, I hate my own foolishness to death. I'll take you to find a doctor right now. Li Yangju was already in too much pain to speak and could only manage a weak nod. I rode over with the noble ladies, and my half-sister quickly lifted her little face to search for me, her eyes filled with their usual adoration and dependence. Elder sister, your horsemanship is excellent. Could you take this young master to the medicine hall? I gazed back into my half-sister's clear, innocent, deer-like eyes. In my past life, I had been too preoccupied with helping her rein in the startled horse to give it much thought. But now, it seems that this seemingly unambitious half-sister of mine might not be as pure and kind as she appeared. I knew she wasn't skilled in riding, so I deliberately chose a horse that even a 7 or 8-year-old child could handle. Not only did she startle the horse, but she also collided with someone. I now suspect she did it on purpose, with the aim of linking me to Li Yangju. That down-and-out scholar, my fingers gripping the reins suddenly turned cold, while the sound of my half-sister's sobs, carried by the chilly spring breeze, continued to echo in my ears. Sister, saving a life is a greater merit than building a 7-story pagoda. If we delay any longer, this gentleman's hand might be permanently damaged. I followed my half-sister's tearful gaze and saw Li Yangju lying on his side amidst the weeds, his crushed right hand soaked in a pool of blood. As the spring sunlight swept over his brow, I clearly saw the unfamiliar yet familiar vigilance in his eyes, the tense line of his jaw identical to when he used to write memorials in his previous life. This was not the 18-year-old Li Yangju. A bold speculation arose in my heart. Li Yangju had also been reborn. Elder sister. My half-sister suddenly rushed over and grabbed the leather belt of my riding attire, her throat emitting a kitten-like whimper. Elder sister clearly could have rushed over to rein in my horse. Why were you unwilling to save this young master? I leaned down and patted my half-sister's shoulder. Sister, don't talk nonsense. You were the one who bumped into him. If you feel so guilty toward this gentleman, why not offer yourself in marriage? My half-sister watched the retreating figure of her legitimate sister riding away on horseback, her fingernails digging deep into her palms. When I returned to the minister's residence, my mother was preparing what my elder brother would need for the imperial examinations half a month later. In my previous life, after I saved Li Yangju, he fell in love with me at first sight, and I was deeply attracted by his talent. While preparing a full set of brush, ink, paper, and inkstone along with an energizing sachet for my elder brother, I also prepared a set for him. In this lifetime, everything about him will have nothing to do with me anymore. Seeing me enter with my maid, mother smiled and pulled me to sit beside her. Yeah, you've reached the age for marriage discussions. Since you don't like those young masters from noble and aristocratic families in the capital, how about we wait for the imperial exam results and catch a husband from the top candidates? In my previous life, my mother had asked me the same question. At that time, I blushed and told her that I already had someone in my heart. With me speaking highly of Li Yangju, my parents had a very good first impression of him, coupled with the fact that he lived up to expectations and achieved the top score in the imperial examination. My parents tacitly approved of this marriage. I snapped out of my thoughts, held my mother's arm, and gently shook it. Mother, there's no need to rush my marriage. The most important thing right now is my elder brother's imperial examination. My mother knew me best. Hearing me say this, she didn't press the matter any further. The next day, my half-sister came to my courtyard early in the morning. Sister, young Master Li's right hand is severely injured. I've used all my savings, but it's still not enough. Could you lend me some money? He ranked first in the provincial examination and is the most promising candidate to become the top scholar. Sister, you wouldn't just stand by and watch such a pillar of talent fall, would you? I elegantly set down my teacup, my gaze resting on my half-sister's delicate, rosy-cheeked face. Zhao Shuero, have you wasted all these years learning the rules? Who gave you permission to speak to your elder sister in such a manner? My voice was not loud, yet it frightened my younger sister so much that her knees buckled, and she fell to the ground with a thud. Sister, please don't be angry. I was so flustered that I forgot my manners. As I rose from the Huanghuali wood armchair, the hem of my crimson skirt brushed past Zhao Shuero's fingers as she knelt on the blue brick floor. The golden phoenix hairpin adorned with a pearl in her hair trembled slightly. This priceless hairpin was a gift I gave her on her coming-of-age ceremony. Now, looking at it, it feels rather glaring. Sister, you were the one who injured the person. Figure out the money issue yourself. Don't come to me again. Zhao Shuero sensed the impatience in my tone, choked back a sob as she replied yes, and retreated in tears. Miss, the second young lady has been crying all day long. No matter how good her fortune is, she's going to cry it all away. The maid, Chun Xing, couldn't help but complain as she watched Zhao Shuero's trembling back. Don't underestimate her fragility and tears, they are her weapons to move people's hearts. After my warning, Zhao Shuero didn't set foot in my courtyard for half a month. According to Chun Xing, she left early every morning and only returned after sunset, likely busy taking care of the injured Li Yangju. Soon came the day of the results announcement, and my mother and I waited early outside the examination hall. The servant who went to check the results returned joyfully to report. Congratulations, madam, congratulations, eldest miss. The young master has passed, he is the top scholar. Mother's hand holding mine trembled slightly. Good, 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 everyone shall be rewarded. My mother and I share the same feelings, with joy evident in the corners of our eyes and brows. In this life, my eldest brother has replaced Li Yangju as the top scholar, and his official career will be even smoother. Just as my mother and I were discussing how to celebrate upon returning home, a commotion suddenly arose outside the carriage, accompanied by faint sobs of a woman. This list must be flawed. Brother Yangju is full of literary talent, how could he possibly fail? Brother Yangju, don't worry, my father is the Minister of Justice, and he will surely seek justice for you. My mother and I both furrowed our brows at the same time, fearing that Zhao Shuero might damage my father's official reputation. We hurriedly got off the carriage to see what was happening. At the center of the crowd, Zhao Shuero was weeping pitifully, holding a handkerchief, while Li Yangju stood pale-faced beside her. The hand that could only write brilliant strategies for governing the world was now wrapped in thick bandages, with traces of crimson blood seeping through, looking both pitiful and tragic. Brother Yangju, I'll take you to my father right now. Zhao Shuero went to tug at the young man's sleeve, but Li Yangju remained motionless. His lips trembled several times before he finally managed to speak. Shuero, the ranking is correct, it's because I'm unskilled with writing with my left hand and didn't complete the entire exam. Li Yangju's words struck Zhao Shuero's ears like a clap of thunder. Her delicate, jade-like fingers slowly peeled away from Li Yangju's faded, washed-out robe, and the tears in her eyes gathered like pearls before falling one by one. Master Li, I'm sorry, it's my fault that you suffered. But I believe that with your talent, you will surely top the exam list after 3 more years of study. The change in Zhao Shuero's form of address made Li Yangju's already pale face turn even whiter. Li Yangju wanted to use his uninjured left hand to touch Zhao Shuero's beautiful hair, which was adorned with only a single jade hairpin, but he froze mid-air when he saw her step back. Master Li, the minister's household has strict rules. I cannot stay out for too long, so I shall return now. Your hand hasn't fully recovered yet, so please go back to the inn and rest early. Zhao Shuoro didn't wait for Li Yanzhou's reply, squeezing through the crowd with her maid. When she spotted my mother and me outside the gathering, she awkwardly bowed before hurrying away. Mother ordered someone to follow her, then returned to the minister's residence with me. Zhao Shuoro fell ill immediately upon returning home. Father, fearing she might pass the sickness to my elder brother and me, permitted her to recuperate in her own room. Mother and I prepared a lavish table full of dishes, waiting only for elder brother to return so we could dine together. Eldest brother didn't return alone. By his side was a tall and handsome young man. Changqing pays his respects to uncle and aunt. The young man respectfully bowed to my parents. Changqing, treat the minister's residence as your own home. Come, take a seat quickly. Mother smiled and invited Jiyu Changqing to sit in the empty seat to her left, but he seemed to misunderstand and directly took the seat next to me. May I sit here? As the young man approached, a faint scent of cedar drifted into my nostrils. Surprisingly, it wasn't the powder fragrance from the courtesans of Chuanxiang Pavilion. Could it be that he was afraid my parents would consider him frivolous, so he deliberately bathed and changed clothes before visiting our residence? While I was lost in thought, an exquisite box appeared before me. Open it and see if you like it. Elder brother had been watching our interaction and couldn't resist teasing. Changqing, today is supposed to be celebrating me. Why haven't I seen you give me a gift? My face flushed slightly at my brother's teasing, and I quickly took the sandalwood box from Jiyu Changqing's hands. In my haste, my fingertips accidentally brushed against Jiyu Changqing's firm palm, for no reason at all. My heart started racing nervously. Even though I've already lived a lifetime in front of this person, I feel like a young girl experiencing her first crush. Jiyu Changqing withdrew his hand in high spirits. Though his expression remained unchanged, the tips of his flushed ears betrayed his fluster and shyness. My mother, being an experienced woman, keenly noticed Jiyu Changqing's feelings and broke the romantic tension with a light-hearted remark. The food is getting cold, let's start our meal. I felt somewhat uneasy during this meal because Jiyu Changqing's gaze on me was too intense. In my previous life, I had also fantasized about marrying Jiyu Changqing. We grew up together as childhood sweethearts, innocent and carefree. He was also a close friend of my elder brother, and their academic achievements were on par. But at some point, Jiyu Changqing went astray. He stopped studying, spending his days cockfighting, gambling, and lingering in pleasure quarters. My illusions about him were shattered, and it was at this time that Li Yangzhou appeared. Although Li Yangzhou came from a humble background, he had ideals and ambitions, forming a stark contrast to Jiyu Changqing's self-indulgent decline. After Li Yangzhou repeatedly expressed his love for me, I married him. Little did I know that one wrong choice would ruin my entire life. My eldest brother took Jiyu Changqing to the study to speak with father, while mother pulled me away to her courtyard. Tell mother the truth, do you have feelings for Changqing? Jiyu Changqing's mother and my mother were close childhood friends and had arranged a marriage for us when we were young. However, as Jiyu Changqing grew up, he turned out to be a disappointment, so the Duchess took the initiative to call off the engagement. Mother, I believe Jiyu Changqing is not the man the world sees him as. Perhaps there are reasons behind the person he has become. In my previous life, shortly after I married, Jiyu Changqing enlisted in the army. In just 5 years, he doubled the territory of the Jing kingdom. A military genius like him should not be someone who indulges in wine and women. My mother looked into my eyes for a long time before finally nodding. All right, mother understands. In the Zhao family study, after Lord Zhao had left, only Jiyu Changqing and Zhao Ming'an remained, sitting opposite each other. Changqing, tell me the truth, are you still thinking about my daughter Ye? Jiyu Changqing laughed heartily. Ye and I were engaged by our families as children. She was always meant to be my wife. At this moment, if the ambitious Jiyu Changqing were seen by outsiders, they would surely think he had been possessed. Zhao Ming'an knew Jiyu Changqing's true nature. But the prejudice in people's hearts is like a towering mountain. In the eyes of the world, no noble lady from a prestigious family would marry Jiyu Changqing. Changqing, you should know that Ye is the apple of my parents' eyes. With your current unambitious and idle demeanor, they would never agree to let Ye marry you. Elder brother is right, so I must rely on you to put in a good word for me. Zhao Ming'an looked at the authentic manuscript of the great Confucian scholar that had been thrust into his arms, feeling a sense of indebtedness. Let me make this clear, I will not sell my sister. Whether she marries or not is entirely up to her. 3 days later, An unexpected guest arrived at the minister's residence. Your humble student, Li Yangju, pays his respects to Lord Zhao. The visitor was dressed in a worn-out long gown, with dark circles under his eyes. Likely due to long-term lack of rest, Zhao Ming'an had heard of Li Yangju. Though born into a poor and humble family, he was exceptionally talented. If not for his right arm being broken by his younger sister, he might have become the top scholar in the imperial examinations. What a pity, indeed. Brother Li, there's no need for such courtesy. Please, come inside. Out of admiration for his talent and a sense of guilt, Zhao Ming'an treated Li Yangju with great respect. In the parlor, Li Yangju hesitated for a moment before finally stating his purpose. Lord Zhao, Miss Zhao has compromised her reputation these past days by taking care of me. I am willing to marry her and swear to have only her in this lifetime. After learning of Li Yangju's ranking in the provincial examination, Zhao Shuoro was fully convinced he would place first in the palace examination. In hopes of marrying the top scholar, she traveled daily between the inn and the minister's residence. She thought she was being discreet, unaware that observant eyes had long taken notice. Tall trees catch the wind. With 2 Lord Zhaos in the family, envious people sought to tarnish the reputation of the Zhao family's daughter. I won't marry. Zhao Shuoro hurried over with her maid and gave her answer before Zhao Ming'an could speak. Li Yangju abruptly stood up, looking at the newcomer in disbelief. Shuoro, you even pawned your favorite golden phoenix hairpin to pay for my treatment. And you tirelessly cared for me without regard for your own reputation. Wasn't it because you had feelings for me, Mr. Li? I took care of you out of a guilty conscience, but I never meant to mislead you. This is my fault. Li Yangju staggered a few steps, still unable to believe what he had just heard. Shuoro, a woman's chastity is more important than anything. Besides me, who else would marry you now? Zhao Shuoro's tears immediately streamed down her face. Young Master Li, if I marry you, it will confirm the rumors of an affair between us. I cannot tarnish my elder sister's reputation. I beg you, let me go. Allow me to accompany the dim lamp and ancient Buddha, praying for your well-being every day. Shuoro, you're so foolish. Zhao Mingyi is the legitimate daughter. Even if she's implicated by you, she won't end up with a poor marriage. Li Yangju was moved by Zhao Shuoro's words, and his slight suspicion of her vanished completely. What young Master Li says is true. Mingyi is a model noble lady in the capital. Those who wish to marry her are already lined up outside the city gates. The indiscretion of a mere illegitimate daughter won't affect her marriage prospects. As the middle-aged woman finished speaking, boxes of betrothal gifts were carried in. Zhao Ming'an hurried forward to pay his respects. Please take the seat of honor, Madam of the State. Zhao Shuoro wiped away her tears, clutching her handkerchief tightly. She never expected the Duke of Zhengguo's family to make such a grand marriage proposal. Though Jiyu Chongqing had a poor reputation, he was still beyond the reach of a concubine-born daughter like her, a bitter truth she resented but could do nothing about. After my engagement to Jiyu Chongqing was settled, the wedding date for Li Yangju and Zhao Shuoro was also fixed. My stepsister only said she would become a nun, but when she saw that our parents were really going to send her to the convent, she immediately backed down. With tears in her eyes, she agreed to the marriage with Li Yangju. 3 months later, I was married into the manor with great fanfare and a lavish dowry, courtesy of Jiyu Chongqing. On our wedding night, I raised my hand and pressed it against Jiyu Chongqing's firm, powerful chest, voicing the doubt in my heart. Jiyu Chongqing, tell me the truth, why did you deliberately tarnish your own reputation? Jiyu Chongqing did not struggle. Instead, he grabbed my hand and guided it into his collar, pressing it against his scorching skin. I caught the attention of Princess Tanhua. To avoid marrying her, I deliberately made myself appear as the most despicable version of myself, which temporarily made her reconsider. I widened my eyes in astonishment. No matter how I thought about it, I never imagined that the reason for Jiyu Chongqing's sudden downfall was this. Chongqing, now that I'm marrying you, will it make Princess Tanhua suspicious? Princess Tanhua is the only daughter of Prince An. Because Prince An had rendered outstanding service to the kingdom of Jing, his only daughter was deeply favored, and even the princesses of the court had to yield to her prominence. It was precisely because Prince An doted on her excessively that she developed an overbearing and domineering temperament. Almost nothing she set her eyes on was beyond her reach. If Jiyu Chongqing hadn't hidden his talents and pretended to be a wastrel, he would have long lost his innocence. Jiyu Chongqing raised his hand to caress my cheek, his eyes filled with an overwhelming tenderness. 3 months ago I had a dream. In the dream, you married Li Yangju. That hypocrite married you but didn't cherish you. letting you wither and fade away in his neglect. My treasured one, whom I've kept hidden in my heart, was trampled upon by him like that. I hate myself for why I didn't confess my feelings to you sooner. Although it was just a dream, I was still afraid. No matter the cost, I must marry you and bring you home. I looked at Ji Changqing's exquisitely handsome face, and tears uncontrollably streamed down. How deep must this obsession be, for the regrets of a past life to manifest in the form of a dream? Changqing, perhaps that wasn't a dream, but something that truly happened. We really missed each other for a lifetime. Ji Changqing couldn't bear to see me cry. He held me tightly in his arms and comforted me. I'm sorry, I failed to protect you. In this lifetime, I will never let you get hurt again. After resolving our misunderstandings, we completely belong to each other. The mandarin ducks embroidered on the bed canopy swayed all night long. Before I collapsed from exhaustion, only one thought remained in my mind. The stamina of martial artists is truly remarkable. The next day, when serving tea to my in-laws, my mother-in-law directly handed over the household management authority to me. Not only that, but she also gave me many valuable pieces of jewelry, as if she were trying to make sure I would never return her son. With the affection of my husband and in-laws, I lived each day in great happiness. On the day of my return to my parents' home, Li Yangju was also there. My half-sister was nestled affectionately by his side, looking every bit like a loving, engaged couple. After lunch, my father called my elder brother and Changqing to the study to discuss matters. Unable to sleep, I took Chuanqing for a leisurely stroll in the garden. Someone followed behind, and soon Li Yanzhou's voice rang out. You've also been reborn, which is why you didn't save me during that spring horseback riding outing, right? I quickened my pace with Chuanqing, putting some distance between us and the person behind before turning around and speaking coldly. Mr. Li, please show some respect. You should address me as Mrs. Zhao. Also, the inner courtyard is no place for you to be. A self-mocking curve lifted the corner of Li Yanzhou's lips. In my past life, this address was exclusively mine, yet now it belongs to someone else, but I have no regrets. Even if I've lost the title of top scholar and you, as long as I can have the purest woman in the world by my side, it's all worth it. Li Yangzhou, I don't understand what you're talking about. Stop spouting nonsense here and leave at once. I am now certain that Li Yangzhou has been reborn, but I don't want him to know that I have been reborn as well. Madam Zhao, there's no need to be so agitated. I came today only to remind you out of consideration for the decades of marital bond we shared in our past life. Ji Changqing is not a good man, isn't speaking ill of others behind their backs unbecoming of a gentleman, although I, Ji may have a poor reputation. I have never done anything to tarnish a young lady's name. Elder brother and Ji Changqing were standing not far away, clearly having overheard my conversation with Li Yangzhou. Caught red-handed speaking ill of someone by the person himself, Li Yangzhou was utterly mortified, his nails digging deeply into his palms. Young Master Ji, aren't you curious about what I did with your wife before you showed up? Li Yanzhou's shameless words shocked me. I had always thought he was merely pedantic and stubborn, but I never imagined he was rotten to the core. He actually dared to slander my reputation with baseless accusations. Li Yangzhou, keep your filthy thoughts to yourself. Your attempts to sow discord are useless against me. I will always trust you. As I looked into Ji Changqing's passionate and resolute eyes, I felt a slight warmth in my own. It felt so wonderful to be trusted so completely and without reservation. In my previous life, I gave everything to Li Yangzhou, yet he stubbornly believed only what he saw. Indeed, marrying just anyone is not the same. Only by marrying the right person can one find happiness. Li Yangzhou couldn't believe what he was hearing. What men fear most is being cuckolded by a woman. Why would Ji Changqing trust a woman's words over what his own eyes had seen? Guards, escort Li Yangzhou out. All servants on duty today will have their monthly pay halved. Zhao Ming'an, a mere scholar, was truly enraged this time. How dare Li Yangzhou come to his backyard and bully his beloved sister? It was absolutely unforgivable. The servant following Zhao Ming'an hurried forward to pull Li Yangzhou away. The freshly healed wound was torn open again, and Li Yanzhou's scream burst out uncontrollably. I now wish I could eat his flesh and drink his blood, feeling that his current suffering is far from enough. Ji Changqing understood the look in my eyes. He leaned down slightly to meet my gaze. Don't worry, I will definitely make Li Yangzhou suffer. The eldest brother walked over and coughed lightly as a reminder. Changqing, don't do anything illegal. Don't worry, big brother, I know my limits. Ji Changqing didn't take Li Yanzhou's life, but made him wish he were dead. The day of Li Yangzhou and Zhao Shuoro's wedding arrived quickly. even the bright red groom's attire couldn't conceal Li Yanzhou's utter dishevelment. The entrance of the minister's residence was crowded with onlookers. A concubine-born daughter's wedding simply can't compare to that of a legitimate daughter. The difference in grandeur is too great. Naturally, they cannot be compared. The eldest young lady married the young lord of the Duke of Zhengguo's household, while this second young lady's husband is merely a poor, disabled scholar who failed the imperial examinations. Zhao Shuoro sat in the simple, two-person sedan chair. Shedding tears of grievance, Li Yangzhu felt even more distressed than Zhao Shuoro. In his previous life, when he married Zhao Mingyi, it was with such grandeur that everyone looked up to him. But in this life, it was the complete opposite. Could it really be that he had made the wrong choice? No, he was not wrong. Zhao Mingyi had lost her chastity before marriage. No matter how excellent she was, he could not bring himself to value her. Although Zhao Shuoro had an unfortunate marriage in her previous life, she remained chaste for her husband for 30 years. Such a virtuous woman was the one who deserved to be his wife. With the matchmaker's call to enter the bridal chamber, Li Yangzhu finally obtained the woman he had longed for across 2 lifetimes. But when he saw the chastity cloth remain pure and untouched, he halted all his movements. "Brother Yangzhu, what's wrong?" Zhao Shuoro wrapped her arms around Li Yanzhou's neck, pouting with dissatisfaction as she coquettishly complained. Li Yangzhu, completely changing from his previous gentleness, roughly kicked Zhao Shuoro off the bed. "You wretch! How dare you engage in illicit relations before marriage? I'm divorcing you." Zhao Shuoro's tears streamed down from the pain. "Brother Yangzhu, what are you talking about? You're the only man I've ever had. I've never done anything to betray you." "Lies, see for yourself." Li Yangzhu angrily threw the chastity cloth onto Zhao Shuoro's face. Upon seeing the chastity cloth, Zhao Shuoro's eyes were filled with shock and confusion. Had she really not been unfaithful? "Brother Yangzhu, please believe me. I was truly pure before marrying you. Could it be that when I fell from the horse during the spring outing, my body was injured, which is why there was no blood? Let's go ask a doctor, all right?" "Ask a doctor? Are you afraid I'm not humiliated enough? Do you want everyone in the entire Jing kingdom to know that my wife, Li Yanzhou's wife, is a promiscuous woman?" Li Yangzhu didn't spare Zhao Shuoro another glance, putting on his clothes and heading to the study. Li Yanzhou's cold neglect of Zhao Shuoro was far too obvious, and soon everyone in the capital knew. The once loving talented scholar and beautiful lady had become a resentful couple due to their discordant wedding night. Ever since discovering Li Yanzhou's true nature, as long as he was doing poorly, I was happy. I instructed Chuanqing to continue having people keep an eye on Li Yangzhu and Zhao Shuoro's side, while I devoted all my energy to dealing with Princess Tanhua. Sure enough, after I married Jiyu Changqing, she discovered something amiss and had the audacity to come directly to the Duke's residence to assert her claim. "Zhao Mingyi, how could your parents bear to marry you off to a wastrel?" That is to say, Jiyu Changqing's previous image as a libertine was all an act. Well, in order to make me give up, he didn't hesitate to ruin his own prospects. "Zhao Mingyi, you must be quite charming for him to abandon years of pretense for your sake. But now that I've uncovered the truth, you should know your place and voluntarily step down. Princess Tanhua, my son and daughter-in-law share a deep bond, and he has no intention of taking a concubine. Please return." My mother-in-law firmly suppressed Princess Tanhua's arrogance. Although the Duke of Zhengguo's estate cannot compare to the Prince of An's mansion, it is not to be trifled with. "Madam Duke, I show you respect only for Changqing's sake. Do not presume on your age and refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit." Princess Tanhua's willow-like eyebrows shot up in clear anger. Princess Tanhua speaks with such boldness, even showing no regard for the Duchess and the young madam of the Duke's household. Jiyu Changqing strode in from outside, shielding my mother-in-law and me behind him. His tall frame provided us with a profound sense of security. In Jiyu Changqing's presence, Princess Tanhua revealed a touch more of a maiden's delicate charm. "Brother Changqing, I'm doing this for the good of your Duke Zhengguo's residence. Zhao Mingyi is decent, but she can't compare to me. If you marry me, your Jiyu clan will enjoy endless wealth and honor. Thank you for your kindness, Princess, but I'm afraid I'm not worthy of such fortune. Attendants, see our guest out." Jiyu Changqing directly had her escorted out, which was more than the proud Princess Tanhua could bear. In a rage, she kicked over a chair in the guest hall and left behind a fierce threat before departing. "Jiyu Changqing, Zhao Mingyi, you will pay a painful price for your disrespect towards this princess today." In truth, I had been forcing myself to remain calm all along. Prince An had numerous supporters both in the military and the court. Now that we had offended Prince An's household, Our days of peace were numbered. Changqing, what should we do next? Don't be afraid. Prince An has been forming cliques for personal gain and has long harbored ambitions to usurp the throne. The emperor has been ordering my elder brother and me to secretly gather evidence. We've almost collected all the incriminating evidence, we're just one step away. In the previous life, the Prince of An also rebelled, but it was 3 years later, and it was Jiyu Changqing who rushed back in time to quell the rebellion. In this life, because I married him, many things have changed, and the Prince of An's rebellion has been brought forward. Changqing, how do you need me to cooperate? You may have to endure some hardship next. Jiyu Changqing leaned close to my ear and revealed the entire plan he had devised with my father and eldest brother. I committed every word to memory, determined not to hold them back. A few days later was my father's birthday. He didn't want a grand celebration, so only the family gathered for a reunion meal. Zhao Shuoro also returned with Li Yangju. Contrary to the rumors, the two seemed to be on good terms. During the meal, Li Yangju served Zhao Shuoro several dishes, and each time, Zhao Shuoro would glance at me triumphantly. However, she seemed to have forgotten that none of the dishes Li Yangju served her were her favorites. They were all exactly what I liked. From this, it seems that in Li Yenzhou's eyes, he is always yearning for the one he cannot have. Father was overjoyed and couldn't help drinking a few extra cups. Just as the family was enjoying a harmonious and joyful time, a group of soldiers burst in. Lord Zhao, you have been accused of colluding with the enemy and betraying the nation. Come with us. The leading general, who was a subordinate of Prince An, spoke with a very hostile tone. Father immediately sobered up halfway. General, I have always been loyal to His Majesty and the Kingdom of Jing. Without a single disloyal thought, you must have made a mistake. There's no mistake. Li Yangju, hurry up and present the evidence so your father-in-law will be thoroughly convinced. Following the general's gaze, we all looked toward Li Yangju. Li Yangju, shedding his previous humble demeanor, arrogantly stretched out his hand toward Zhao Shuoro and demanded, "Give it to me, Brother Yangju. You promised me that if I helped you achieve merit this time, you would stop holding the absence of blood on our wedding night against me. I've consulted physicians, it truly was lost during that horse-riding accident." Before presenting the evidence, Zhao Shuoro still wanted Li Yenzhou's guarantee. Li Yangju frowned slightly, impatience flickering in his eyes. Enough nonsense. The innocent have nothing to fear. Your constant mention of this matter only makes you appear guilty. I promise I won't divorce you. Now quickly hand over the evidence of your father's treason. Zhao Shuoro was not satisfied with Li Yenzhou's response, but she didn't dare to demand more. With a pitiful expression, she pulled a letter from her sleeve. Father couldn't believe what he was seeing. His own daughter had personally fabricated evidence to send him to the guillotine. Zhao Shuoro, you unfilial daughter, I am your father. Although Zhao Shuoro was timid and submissive in front of Li Yangju, she was quite arrogant in front of us, who were about to become prisoners. Father, it's true that you are my father. But you and mother forced my birth mother to her death. You are my enemies. The year my mother committed suicide, I was only 6 years old. I saw with my own eyes how you drove her to poison herself. I was thinking at the time, no matter the cost, I would avenge her. All these years, I have pretended to be your favorite daughter, just to win your affection. But I found that no matter how well I did, you only had eyes for my sister. I was furious, I was resentful. And I secretly swore in my heart that one day, I would crush all of you beneath my feet. Ha ha ha, today I have finally done it. Mother looked at Zhao Shuoro's frenzied appearance and calmly revealed the truth of that year. Your mother wasn't forced to death by us, she was afraid her lowly status would affect you. So she chose to die to secure a future for you. She knew that once she died, you would be raised under my name and enjoy the same treatment as a legitimate daughter. Zhao Shuoro never expected that she had been hating the wrong person all these years, which she found hard to accept at the moment. No, you're lying. If it was as you said, why didn't you register me under your name? Although Zhao Shuoro has lived well these years, she still cannot compare to me, the legitimate daughter. Every mother loves her own child. If I treated you too well, it would be unfair to my own daughter. People's hearts are naturally biased. And I naturally love my own child more. You're right, ultimately, it's my fate that's not good. I don't have a noble birth mother. But none of that matters anymore. I've changed my destiny through my own efforts. You'll all be dead soon, and I'll be rewarded for exposing the traitors. Enough with the pointless talk. Guards, take all the Zhao family members away. General, wait. Jiyu Changqing is the son-in-law of the Zhao family. I believe he is also involved in the rebellion and should be imprisoned along with them. Li Yangju, fearing that Jiyu Changqing might be let go, quickly suggested that he be taken to the imperial prison as well. Before the general could agree, a haughty woman's voice rang out, "Li Yangju, how dare you lay a hand on someone under my protection? It seems you have a death wish." Looking at the woman stepping forward, Li Yangju smiled with flattery and sycophancy. "Your Highness, you've misunderstood. Jiyu Changqing is full of pride and arrogance. I only wanted to use this method to help you tame him. My man is not someone you can meddle with. Jiyu Changqing, now you've witnessed my power, I'll give you one more chance to choose. Do you want me, or Zhao Mingyi?" The man who once swore eternal love to me hesitated when faced with life and death. The elder brother saw Jiyu Changqing's hesitation and landed a heavy punch on his shoulder. "Jiyu Changqing, if I had known you were such a coward who fears death, I would never have agreed to let my sister marry you." Jiyu Changqing did not dodge, taking the punch head on. "I'm sorry, in the end, I have let Yi down." I was completely heartbroken by Jiyu Changqing, allowing the soldiers to take me away without even glancing at him again. In the prison cell, my mother, Chun Xing, and I huddled together on a foul-smelling straw mat. I don't know how much time had passed when I heard someone calling my name. "Zhao Mingyi, I'm here to save you." Li Yangju stood outside the prison cell, gazing at me with gentle eyes. In our past life, I wronged you. It turns out the reason there was no blood on our first night was because you were injured while saving me. In this life, choosing Zhao Shuoro made me fully realize that what I missed wasn't just a regret, but a catastrophe. I don't blame you for not saving me in this life. Instead, I want to thank you for helping me see my own heart clearly. I'm now completely certain that it's you I love. Just say you love me too, and I'll have Zhao Shuoro die in your place. Zhao Shuoro, who was tied up and following behind him, finally felt regret this time. "Sister, I'm sorry. When we were riding to enjoy the spring scenery, I deliberately startled the horse with the intention of having you save Li Yangju, so that you would be entangled with this destitute scholar for the rest of your life, because you are so noble and so perfect. I desperately wanted to pull you down from the altar. If I had known the truth earlier, I would never have schemed against you. Sister, Li Yangju is not a man worth entrusting your life to. Don't believe his words. If there is a next life, I want to be your real sister. Sister, I'll go ahead first." Blood trickled down Zhao Shuoro's fair neck. She had actually used the golden phoenix hairpin I gave her to take her own life. Li Yangju never expected Zhao Shuoro to be so resolute. He kicked and stomped on her corpse in a fit of rage. "Wretched woman, you couldn't even bring me one last bit of value before you died. Zhao Mingyi, don't be swayed by Zhao Shuoro's provocations. If you don't come with me, the only thing waiting for you is death. Li Yangju, you're celebrating too soon. The ones who should die are you and the Prince of An's faction." Li Yangju turned around in terror and saw Jiyu Changqing walking toward him in silver armor, his fingers gripping a long sword. How clever Li Yangju was! He instantly understood that they had fallen into the trap set by Jiyu Changqing and Zhao Mingyan when they escorted the Zhao family into the imperial prison. Jiyu Changqing's presence here suggested that the faction of Prince An had already been suppressed. The victor becomes the king. The loser becomes the bandit. He wanted to die with dignity. He pulled out the golden phoenix hairpin from Zhao Shuoro's neck, which had only recently been redeemed, and fiercely stabbed it into his own neck. As blood sprayed out in a crimson mist, he seemed to see once again the brilliant apricot blossoms of that year, and the woman in red riding attire galloping toward him. So, the one he had always loved was Zhao Mingyi. Why had he failed to see it clearly in both lifetimes? If given another chance, he would surely not make the same mistake. With everything settled, the emperor recognized Jiyu Changqing's military talent through the suppression of Prince An's faction. His Majesty wished to appoint him as a second-rank general, but he politely declined. In his dreams, he expanded territories and left a legacy in history. But he also suffered severe injuries and passed away at a young age. Now that he has a beloved woman and will have children in the future, he cannot afford to let anything happen to himself. Another year of apricot blossoms and light rain. I held my 1-year-old daughter and congratulated Jiyu Changqing with a smile for achieving the highest honor. Jiyu Changqing took his daughter and leaned close to my ear, whispering softly, "My lady, how will you reward your husband tonight?"
But be even prettier